the gentlewoman from Florida, Ms. Salazar, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. Wonderful to see you, all of you, Mr. Robinson, Mr. Nichols. Mr. Nichols, we saw each other in El Salvador and a couple of days ago. Wonderful to have seen you there for the second inaugural of President Bukele. Salvador was the murder capital of the world at one point and now is the safest country in the Western Hemisphere. Not bad. But you know that Bukele was not one of your favorites. What did he do right?
President Bukele and his government have implemented a comprehensive rule of law programming. The frontal effort to control the gangs in El Salvador is impressive and something that many countries are watching with great interest. We are concerned, however, that such policy should include a respect for the rule of law and the opportunity for all citizens to receive due process.
Of course, I was the first one who told him we do not want anyone who's innocent in jail. Right, you agree with me, but do you still agree that they did a great job? And even the State Department is saying, okay, well, maybe we should copy this.
Well, I think that we can help countries implement policies that address crime and still respect the rule of law and human rights.
No doubt about it. I'm sure they want that too. All right, so you know I only have 5 minutes, so I have to move to the other one. Let's go to Cuba. The newest economic policy allows Cubans to use our banks, the United States banks, to transfer money anywhere around the world, supposedly for trade purposes. And I have no doubt that the Biden administration had the most noble interest in helping the Cuban people. But we know the Cuban regime. And you know what could happen? One of the problems is that, let's say that the regime forms a company and it disguises in a company that is selling, or I'm sorry, is buying tomatoes from Turkey. All right, so Cuban company buys tomatoes from Turkey, and in reality, what they're doing is laundering money for Hezbollah. Our banking system doesn't need to know this. I mean, you know that's a possibility. So what do you think haven't you thought about this?
So the regulations that we have put in place will help thousands of independent Cuban businesses.
Yeah.
The individuals who participate are screened. The participation of Cuban government officials is specifically prohibited.
No, but wait a minute. The Cubans are intelligent, and they're going to find Pepe or Berta, and they're going to say, hey, come on, you're going to put together this little trade, this little business, and we're going to be selling tomatoes to Turkey. And in reality, they're behind it, because you know that's what they do. We don't do that, but they do. So my only question is, what can we really do in order to prevent that? Because we don't want the Cubans to be using the United States banking system to launder money and to help our enemies. Do you understand that that's a possibility?
Certainly that the United States financial system continues to have compliance requirements and know your customer requirements. They screen their customers very carefully, and we will work with the financial system to ensure that there are measures in place to prevent those types of things.
And don't you think that maybe when it comes to the Cubans, we should implement even more layers because of their intentions?
The goal is to promote private sector development in Cuba.
I am sure, but that's not the goal of the regime. You know, the regime doesn't care if people eat. They're in the business of power. But hey, we'll work together on that. Now, Mr. Robinson, wonderful to talk to you. You know, my time is running out. Guatemala. Guatemala, we have a situation in Guatemala with a lady by the name of Consuelo Porras. The State Department has Porras in the crosshairs. I don't know her, I've never seen her, I've never spoken with her. She's the AG of Guatemala, right? And the president appointed her. And now she's sanctioned by the United States. And while you were ambassador, Mr. Robinson, she kicked out something called the CICIG because according to the Guatemalans, it was politicized. We may think that they're a bunch of banana republics, and some of them are, and I have called them out on it, but you know, they have the right to name whomever they want to as AG. And we don't have the right to say, oh, you're gonna name Maria, but not Rosa. So my question is, has she done anything right?
Just a point of clarification, CICIG was kicked out after I left Guatemala
No, I understand, but the State Department doesn't like her one bit, and she's been sanctioned. So I just, what has she done anything right? Why are we persecuting this lady?
She has been sanctioned for undermining democratic institutions and the free and fair election, attempting to undermine the free and fair election in Guatemala.
But you know how many people in Latin America have
Gentlewoman's
done
time has
that and they have
expired.
not been sanctioned, like the president of Argentina, the president of Ecuador. I mean, we have a lot of people who've done that, but
Gentlewoman's
why
time has
her in
expired.
particular?
Would you please answer her question in writing, please? And the gentlewoman, time has expired.